Hey guys, Hayden here with a quick tutorial on finalizing your dance mix or edit. Just an FYI, these tutorials are geared towards dancers to help them make their own dance mix or edit, so nothing too comprehensive or technical. Today we're just in Logic and we're going to show you how to finalize your mix, final touch-ups, master limiting, and of course exporting so you can have your mix rehearsal ready or performance ready. So let's just get right to it. So here I have Logic open and I have two songs imported. I've spliced them both to my liking and I've added fades to each cut. And I've also added an explosion sound effect to make the transition from this song to this one smoother and just sound a little better. So first thing we want to do when finalizing a mix is we just want to make sure that all of the tracks are at proper volume levels. And we can do that by checking our meters while playing back the mix. So let's just go ahead and do that. I'm going to click here so you can hear this transition. And we're going to watch our meters here on the left. This is our individual track. In this case, it's my song number 1. We'll select that one. And watch here, and then we do have another meter up here, but I like to watch this stereo one here. It shows us a little bit more information, so let's go ahead and play that back and take a look. Okay, so that sounds good, but we do have some clipping going on over here in the master output. So what this master output is essentially all three of these tracks are going to one place, and it's to this stereo out. And when you export your song or you finish it and save it as a song to your device or computer, it's pulling all the audio that's coming out of this track here. So essentially, what this is saying is this is a little bit too loud for the computer to handle. So it's clipping, which is just an audio term that just means distorting, and it's going to sound a little bad because you have exceeded the minimum amount that is allowed in this digital world of audio, essentially. I'm trying to keep this really simple in layman's terms. Basically, we don't want to see any of this red clipping here. If I click on this, it'll go away, but if I were to play this back, it would just pop right back. So the way that we can fix this is by adding a limiter to our master output. You may have seen previous tutorials where we added limiters to individual tracks, such as this one here. We have a limiter on this track, song number 2, and we're going to do the same thing just on the master track or master output. So to do this, it's super simple. Just go to your master track here. In Logic, this is your master fader. It's called stereo out. And then we're just going to go to audio effects and to dynamics here, and you'll see limiter and stereo. And I actually have mine as a recent one because I use it all the time, but you won't see that right up front. So it's right here, dynamics, limiter, stereo. So I click that. It pops the limiter on here. It's going to pull up here to ask what settings I want on this limiter. The only thing that I really need to do is adjust this knob here, this output level. It's at 0, and that's fine. I do like to bring it down just to 0.1. That's just my taste. You don't really need to do this, but that will keep it from going red ever. And I just like to not see red on my master fader over there. So with that, I can just click exit. And now that limiter's on. So let's play that again, and you'll see that that will no longer clip. And just like that, stayed in the yellow that time. Okay, so one final thing I like to add to my mixes is called an exciter. And I'm going to add that here, but what I want to do is drag this limiter down one and put the exciter before the limiter. So basically this is going to run top to bottom, and I want the limiter to be the last thing on my track. So then if I go here, I can find my exciter here in my recents because I know it's there, but if you don't have it in your recents, you just go to specialized exciter and then click stereo. And let me explain what this does. So most songs that you download from the internet or get from your computer, they're MP3 files and they are compressed. And sometimes these files get too compressed as they're passed around through email or through Dropbox or Google Drive or what have you, and they lose some of the high sizzle and crispness of your song. So exciters will bring back that sizzle and energy that can be lost by overcompressing your song too much. So I always add this. It's pretty subtle, but I think it's definitely worth adding to any mix. So we'll just leave that where it's at. The settings are fine. I don't want to increase this too much because it'll sound too crisp. So usually the presets for this is just fine. So we'll just hit exit. So let's go ahead and export our mix now. It's ready to go. We've got our limiter on here. We've got our exciter before the limiter. there are multiple ways to export a mix from Logic. As you can see, we have export, we have bounce, we have share, and all these essentially do the same thing, but in different ways. In my opinion, the easiest way to do this is by using the bounce and then project or section. So Command B as a shortcut. That's one that I remember and use all the time, Command B when I'm done with my mix. Okay, so this screen's gonna pop up. This is our settings for our mix. Before we hit OK and finalize this mix, you can see here that we have a start and an end point. And this is just to determine what sections are we gonna actually export. In this case, it's the very beginning, 1111, and it's going all the way to measure 129. But if we cancel here and look at this, our mix is like 129 is way over here. If we look up at our ruler, it's going to export all this end space, and we don't want to do that. So the quick way to make sure we don't have this huge tail end of silence in our final mix is to simply come up here to our ruler. If you just click on these numbers and drag, you'll see this yellow bar come up. And this is determining it's called the cycle range, as you can see there. But if we just highlight just the area we want, and we can extend that and shorten it and just get the mix area here, that's gonna tell Logic what part we want to bounce. We don't want all this extra silence here. So if I go to Command B now, which is the same as that file, bounce, project or section, Command B, I'm gonna use that shortcut. It's going to pop up that same box. So now we can see that the endpoint is at 67, which is correct. That is the length of our mix here. Just a couple other settings here. Just make sure you have MP3 selected. Just make sure that's checked. And then you have 320 on both of these. This is the highest quality of an MP3 we can go, which is a lot better than what GarageBand can do for us, just an FYI. And then offline is fine. All the other settings are just fine. Just MP3, 320 on both of these. And then we can click OK. It's going to ask us where we want to save that mix. Desktop is just fine for me, and my mix works as well as a name. So I'll click bounce. And then it's going to bounce just that section. You can see that it's doing that. Converting to MP3. And then if we open up our Finder, lo and behold, my mix is there and ready to be shared. And I can do that by right-clicking and sharing, or just dragging and dropping it into an email, or however you want to do that. So just to recap, get your mix sounding how you want, add an exciter and a limiter to your master track. To find the section that you want to bounce, go ahead and click File, Bounce, Project or Section. Make sure you select that MP3 and 320 settings, and you're all set. To get it to your phone or device, you can just email it to yourself or use whatever other means, AirDrop or what have you. So hopefully this video was helpful. If so, please give us a like and subscribe. If you have any questions about making mixes or edits for dance, you can contact me directly or head over to dancecuts.com/contact. And just for those curious, here is Dance Cuts, our music editor made for dancers. Dance Cuts automatically adjusts volumes and adds limiters to the songs that are imported, as well as to the overall mix. So you don't have to worry about balancing your mix. You can simply click Export, and Dance Cuts will do everything in the background for you, including automatically saving your mix with the highest quality. On top of that, all of your exported mixes are automatically saved to your online account, so you can easily access them, stream them, or download them to your device. This is much easier than other editors, as Dance Cuts was created for dancers. Dance Cuts is free, so be sure to check that out. You can do that by heading over to dancecuts.com and navigating to the downloads page. We also have loads of tutorials to help you quickly learn Dance Cuts, with more tutorials being made regularly. So be on the lookout for those, and we will see you in the next one.